college cafeteria food is very overpriced, and one thing you can do to reduce the cost of a meal plan is to simply make food yourself, especially if it's cheap and easy to make. One of my favorite things to make is a cheese omelet, and I will show you how to make that. Right here I have a list of ingredients, 3 eggs, some shredded cheese or sliced cheese if you like, chives, minced onion, and garlic powder. Now there are also some materials you'll need to make an omelet. A frying pan would be necessary, some butter or some kind of oil, spatula, bowl and fork, and then the ingredients I mentioned earlier. Now to make an omelet, it's just 3 basic steps. Melt the butter or heat the oil if you choose oil in the frying pan. Beat the eggs, and thoroughly cook the omelets. Now first you crack 3 eggs into a bowl, which I will do right now. You can do 2 eggs if you want to do a 2-egg omelet, but I typically prefer to have 3 eggs. And then you wash your hands so don't have any foodborne illnesses. You don't want those. Eggs do come from a chicken's butt, so you don't want the germs from that to get into your food. At least the shells anyway. Then you add chives, garlic powder, and minced onions to the eggs before you beat them. It adds sort of an extra flavor to it, and I personally really like the extra flavor that it adds. Don't try to add too much. There isn't really a set amount. It really depends on personal taste. I tend to like to go heavy on the chives if possible. That's just my personal preference. And then you beat the eggs in this sort of like circular motion, like I am doing like right now. Just sort of beat the eggs. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see you do this, but I have the camera on a stand, which makes it kind of difficult to show. So the beat eggs should look something like this. Okay. Then you heat the oil. So I'd set the pan on the stove and set the heat to about 6 or 7. I'll leave it at 7, and then I'll add some cooking spray for the oil. Add a lot so the eggs don't stick. This is why we add the cooking spray, and then I'll just put the lid on top of the pan and just let it heat. I'll wait for the oil to heat before I add the eggs. Now, once it's heated, I will pour the eggs into the pan, and the eggs will just start to cook. Now, this is when you start to thoroughly cook the eggs. Now, the eggs will, the typical like solid yellow texture you'll see in scrambled eggs or an omelet will start to appear. Whenever that happens, take your spatula and sort of fold the egg, like the surrounding round area of the eggs towards the center. That way, it allows the eggs to cook faster, and once the eggs really start cooking after 1 or 2 minutes or so, you can probably go closer to 2 or 3 minutes. Actually, I would put the spatula underneath the eggs and then flip it, and then the eggs will then cook on the other side. Then cover it again, just so you could add the cover again, basically just so it heats faster, and that's basically the point. Once it starts to cook, I would take a slice of cheese or some shredded cheese, and then just sprinkle a shredded cheese or add the sliced cheese on top of the omelet. Then fold the omelet so it has this sort of like almost crescent semicircle-like shape to it. Then turn off the heat, add the cover again, so the cheese will melt. You don't want to have the flame on because it'll overcook the egg, and I don't really like burnt eggs, and I don't want my eggs to be burnt, so you add the cover. When it's done, your omelet should look something like this. Now it's really easy to make an omelet if you follow these 3 steps. Melt the butter in the pan or heat the oil, which I chose to do. Beat the eggs and thoroughly cook the omelets. Making an omelet is really easy, and I hope your omelets taste great. And I also hope you enjoy not having to pay as much for a meal plan. Thank you very much.